The usual commotion of the bridge is overturned by the sound of the main entrance to the command deck opening. The doors slide open with a bell ring. The bridge staff stop their tasks and gaze towards the entrance without hesitancy and in complete synchrony. The focus of their attention enters the deck, draped in a long red coat with golden accents and adorned with a mixture of jewellery and technology. Decorated white slacks lead down to large black boots reinforced with sheets of metal plating and sockets. The wearer carries himself with pride and authority as the crew nearby salute to him. His face is reptilian, grey-scaled with distinct quills sprouting from the back of his neck all the way to his forehead, styled as if it was hair. His frame is also vastly different from the others, standing about a foot taller and built more like a bodybuilder than your typical ship crew member. Adding to his eccentricity, the man had sported 2 wings, 4 rows of black cartilage per wing, connecting a dark red membrane. For convenience, his wings were draped on his shoulders like a makeshift cape. Accompanying the man were an escort of 3 security guards, their black and red armour completely covering every part of their body. Thick shoulder plates, boots, and a curved back carapace with a handle on its top provide protection almost everywhere but the joints that require the freedom of movement. The weaponry appeared ballistic. Their large frames felt like they would be better placed on their protectorate in proportion. A mounted scope and a cylindrical magazine placed inside the rifle, as to not hinder the user when wielding. "To the stars we bring enlightenment," chanted the crew, as the new arrival placed himself on the command throne. His boots socket into the paddles, and his arms meld easily into the sides. His clawed hands input codes into the consoles placed conveniently next to the cup holder that had prepared a beverage which the captain had taken a sip from. At his relaxation, the crew returned to their duties, perfectly disciplined, like they had rehearsed it even in their sleep numerous times. A devotion to the cause, so prudent it becomes muscle memory. A large holographic screen opens like a window in front of the captain. The voice modulator welcomes him by his name of Decimus. The entrance closes, and puffs of steam seal it tight. Decimus rests his wings on the outside of the chair and relaxes, taking a deep breath and rubbing his eyes. "What a nice sleep that was. Did we arrive at the destination, Ensign?" Spoke in a tone of voice that had a slight hiss to it, yet regal and commanding, though his relaxation creating a slur in his speech, rather informal in comparison to the ongoings around him. A female, adorned in a similarly coloured fabric suit that Decimus wore, responded to him, her voice calm and soothing. Her words carry a slight click from her beak clanking together. "We have, and faster than previously predicted, by 2 days and 13 hours. Although her suit has few ribbons on her left breast, and not bearing the exact details fit for a commanding role, her face was avian in nature. A beak lined with nail-like teeth pointed backwards, and white feathers with small patterns of brown convey a sweeping arc to the right side of her head, contrasting the one small silver-plated wing pointing outwards on her left shoulder, linked by an ornate chain to the opposite side. "Commencing scan of the 4th planet, Captain. Search parameters are life forms, resources, architectural structures, atmospheric composition, and any forms of reading across the spectrums." Decimus nodded in approval. "Report any findings to the briefing room and intelligence overseer. We have reason to believe an important relic has found its residency in this system." Affirmative, Captain. By our grasp, we bring in glory. Speaking the common Orion salute, said as a closing statement, the salute often followed with a gesture of both arms reaching outwards. The hands grasp the air and pull inwards to the chest. It signifies that wherever they reach, they take in their experience for the betterment of themselves. The crew at the bridge work alongside the guidance of the ensign to conduct the task of scanning the world of Trappist 1E, which they've documented to the databanks as planet Dagmothor, in honour of the ensign who commenced the scans. Accustomed to the Orion doctrine to allow individuals a chance to be part of something larger, regardless of their rank. Decimus works on his console on the command chair, interfacing with multiple screens that appear and dissipate as his command unit. An alert klaxon suddenly blares on the screen. The cartographer shouts out to the crew, "We've got an asteroid bearing on us. If we move, it'll hit the planet. Could do some severe damage." Without so much of concern, the commander waves his right hand towards the cartographer. "All right then. Pilot, bump it out the way." Pilot, positioned at the lower forefront of the command deck to have a full view of the outside, begins to input on the largest command console of the bridge. This was the figurative steering wheel of the ship when the automatic pilot was not engaged. The ship bears towards the asteroid, measuring at 3 miles across. "Permission to engage, Captain," said the pilot. Decimus nods with a smile on his face. "Give it a good smack, Denver." The pilot, Denver, engages the ship's main thrusters, gaining speed and closing the distance to the asteroid. No alarms go off as the asteroid gets closer to the ship. Seconds before impact, or maybe a moment, time does become relevant at such speeds. Decimus engaged a communication across the ship. "All crew members, this is your captain speaking. If you would look outside, we will be expecting a meteor shower over the planet. We will be encountering a speed bump in a few seconds. No need to hang on to anything." The ship, with its thrusters at near full throttle, rams into the asteroid head-on, with such velocity the rocks shattered like glass. Automated turrets scan the debris and shoot with lasers at any fragments deemed too large to disintegrate upon re-entry. On the ship, the worst-case scenario had occurred. An unprepared crew member on their time off had spilled their shower gel during their cleaning routine in the shower of their dorm. Returning to normal duties, Dagmothor had found a signature of civilization on the planet. "I've detected signs of activity. Considering the emissions, size of the settlement and techno-signatures, the planet's inhabitants are capable of the first stages of spacefaring technology. Images of aerial vehicles show early aerojet propellant-based aircraft." "Environmental researcher Bernaberg, your findings?" Decimus inquired, while stroking his chin with interest. "This planet is within acceptable parameters for most carbon-based life forms. With the exception of the Teyesh crew members on board, everyone else will be able to make planetfall without specialized survival equipment. Gravity is nominal as well, sir," ensuring his captain with a thumbs up. In a cheery tone of voice, he responded, "Marvelous. Excellent work as always. I have your confidence you're already making arrangements for surveying the next planets along with Ensign Dagmothor." "You know me too well, Captain. Reports from Quartermaster Aberfer says equipment is ready for an away team. Says she only needs your word, and an escort can be provided for you to be the envoy." "Make it so." Let's go say hello. I want my usual accompaniment. Will do, sir. Boonaberg sends the messages needed. A moment passed, and a response given. He sighs, signalling Decimus over with a wave. The commander disconnects from the chair, making his way down the stairs towards the terminal. Sir, Abertha's saying Marlock is not suited up yet. He was in the mess hall at the time he received the message. Can't blame the guy. There's some good food down there today. Decimus also sighed, though his tone less agitated than expected. He proceeds to leave the command deck. First, Officer Jarl, you're in charge. A compartment opens above the captain's chair. It was only illuminated by the console inside. The chair lowers itself, and the occupant leaves, putting on goggles as he goes. His skin was pale, and it was lined like ripples on water. He wore a black suit, biomechanical in appearance, and covered his entire body. The distinct feature being the right arm, a cylindrical arm cannon that is a part of him, just as much as his short brown hair. It was a cyborg. It was one of the Teesh. Jarl wears custom goggles made to hinder the senses of his eyes, for they can see across most of the electromagnetic spectrum, but as a result of growing up on their homeworld that was only lit by a dim white dwarf, their eyes were exceptionally sensitive to light. And as a result, so too was their skin. The carapace was there to protect both his eyes and his skin from any form of UV radiation. Affirmative, Commander. Changing priorities. Commands noted. Assuming control of bridge until return. Stay well. The robotic voice matching his near-mechanical appearance. He connected to the command chair through all of his limbs, becoming one with the circuitry and its terminals. The ship and him were becoming one. Decimus left the bridge with his two escorts in tow. They board a small automated platform that rides along a rail down the long corridor that leads to a docking bay. Mess hall, commands Decimus to the terminal. The cart begins and moves down a long hallway, leading to a secondary door. It was large, mechanical, and claxons were blaring as it revealed what was on the other side. Commerce Canal, informed the terminal. A large door, once again, opened behind the first one, and it revealed a gargantuan highway, so large that it spans the entire length of the ship. Multiple lanes are coloured both on the floor and with signs referring to cargo, troops, off-duty staff, and vehicles. All of them move around like blood cells in an artery that keeps the commerce and functions of the ship running smoothly. It was often referred to as the spine, since it connects to different floors, decks, and points of interest like a nervous system. The designation of this tunnel is C, implying two other tunnels of this magnitude exists higher up in different floors of the ship.